Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today our discussion topic is the difference between the orbit and the orbital. What do you mean by an orbit? Orbit means the fixed circular path around the nucleus is called as orbit. As the I'm drawing here that this one is the nucleus, and around the nucleus there is a fixed circular path. This circular path is known as orbit. On the basis of energy and size, orbits are divided into 7 shells. It means that on the basis of energy, they are divided into 7 shells, K, namely K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. K is the first shell, L is the second shell, M is the third shell, N is the fourth, O fifth, P sixth, and Q is the seventh. As in the diagram showing that this one is the K shell, यानी कि ये हमारा first shell है, and first के बाद आ रहा है second, so this one is the L shell, and this one is the third, so this one is the M shell, ये N shell, this one is the O shell, P shell, and Q shell. Clear? These shells are also known as the orbit. Then the number of electrons in an orbit is calculated by a principle. That principle is called as exclusion principle. According to this principle, we can find the electron through this formula. Exclusion principle gives the formula of 2n square, where the n represents the number of orbit. Means if the number of orbit is 1, यानी कि ये हमारा फर्स्ट ऑर्बिट है. अगर हमें इसमें इलेक्ट्रॉन के नंबर फाइंड करने हैं कि कितनी कैपेसिटी रखता है, तो हम फाइंड कर सकते हैं 2n स्क्वायर से. जिस तरह ये k है, k इज इक्वल्स टू 1. पहला हमारे पास ऑर्बिट होता है k, तो उसके इलेक्ट्रॉन हमने यहाँ पे फॉर्मूला रखा 2n स्क्वायर. और n क्या है? n इज इक्वल्स टू नंबर ऑफ ऑर्बिट. जिस तरह k का 1 है तो 1 का स्क्वायर करेंगे तो हमारे पास आया, इसमें कैपेसिटी है 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि ये जो k शेल है इसमें सिर्फ और सिर्फ 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन पाए जा सकते हैं. Then the L is our second shell. सेकंड शेल सेकंड में भी हमने n की जगह क्या रखा है? 2. तो 2 का स्क्वायर निकाला. 2 का स्क्वायर निकाला तो हमारे पास आए 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. मीन्स जो हमारे पास L शेल है इसमें जो कैपेसिटी है 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की, यानी कि यहाँ L शेल में 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स पाए जाते हैं. इसी तरह M जो 3 है इसको फॉर्मूले में पुट करेंगे तो हमारे पास आएगा 18 इलेक्ट्रॉन. Then N is your fourth shell. If you put the N value 4, then you got the 32 electron. And O में हमारे पास फॉर्मूला में पुट किया तो हमारे पास आया 50 इलेक्ट्रॉन. इसी तरह आप करते जाएं 7 तक चल जाइएगा तो आपका 7 ऑर्बिट्स की फिलिंग के इलेक्ट्रॉन्स की पता चल जाएगा आपको कैसे निकालते हैं. Then, what do you mean about orbital? If you see the orbit, you know that it is a circular path. If you see it in 3-dimensional structure, then you see the orbitals. What are orbitals? Orbitals are the 3-dimensional region around the nucleus. Means if we place this orbit in 3-dimensional, means y, z and x एक्सिस में हम पुट करें तो हमें जो 3-dimensional पिक्चर नज़र आएगी उस पिक्चर को कहा जाता है ऑर्बिटल. On the basis of energy and shape, they are divided into 4 subshells. These are the shells. Inside these shells, there are 4 different types of orbitals. these four different types of orbital. First orbital is your s orbital. How can you identify the s orbital? S orbital can easily be identified by the spherical shape. Then, how can you identify the p orbital? The p orbital can easily be identified by the dumbbell shape. The single dumbbell is the p orbital. Then, the d orbital can easily be identified by double dumbbell. Double dumbbell जहाँ पे होगा, it's a d orbital. If there is a single dumbbell, it's called as the p orbital. If there are the three dumbbells together, or there is a flank shape, this shape is called as flank shape, orbital is present, this orbital is called as f orbital. I am repeating these orbital shapes again. On the basis of shape and energy, they are divided into four orbitals. If the shape is spherical, it is called as s orbital. If the shape is single dumbbell, it's called as p orbital. And if the shape is double dumbbell, it's called d orbital. If the shape is flank or three dumbbell, it's called as f orbital. The electron capacity of each orbital is given over here. Like the s orbital capacity is 2 electrons, it means the s orbital can occupy only 2 electrons. And the p orbital have the capacity of 6 electrons. In the next lecture, I will tell you how these 6 electrons are divided into 3 more subshells. And the electron capacity of d orbital is 10 electron and the f orbital is 14 electron. You have to learn this. What is the main difference between orbit and orbital? Orbit are the fixed circular path around the nucleus. This one is the three-dimensional structure. If you see in the 3 axes, then these structures can easily be distinguished. On the basis of energy and size, they are subdivided into 7 shells from K to Q, and orbitals are divided into 4 subshells S, P, D, and F. And the electron capacity of orbitals: S orbital having the 2 electron capacity, P having the 6, and D having the 10, and F having the 14 electron capacity.